Taking on the open world genre is never easy, when the likes of Assassin's Creed and Grand Theft Auto dominate the genre. Way of the Samurai 4 might not come close to the quality of those games, but as a B-grade throwaway title, it's quite a lot of fun. The game features a fairly typical plot that focuses on political tension. There's two main sides, a xenophobic group that wants to keep foreigners out of Japan, and then there's those that want to work with the foreigners. Tensions regularly boil to the surface, and then it's time for you to take up your sword and pick a side. The plot is dynamic, and your decisions directly affect the progression of that story. This choose-your-own-adventure approach has an interesting side effect. It's possible for a story to be over in just an hour or so of playtime. Given that we're used to open-world games rivaling RPGs for scope, this is a bit strange at first. But never fear, equipment does carry over to new games, so the idea of this game is to see as many different endings as possible. The story in general is fairly well written, and the scenario itself is quite interesting, but one grave problem I had with this game was the sense that I didn't want to take any sides, as everyone seemed to be afflicted by what I call the Game of Thrones effect. There really isn't a single likeable NPC character to side with. The xenophobes are violent rebels, and the side of law is run by a man who enjoys torture. Moral confusion is a similar trait amongst all open world games, but in this game there are moments that I found genuinely unpleasant. Within the gameplay, it's the usual range of side quests and diversions that you'd expect in an open world game, to go with the cutscene intensive missions. There's some moments of real weirdness here too. So take for instance, the romance minigame. And then there's the torture minigame if you're caught committing a crime. I know it's easy to pass these off as simply strange, but I'm not sold on whether stealth games, where the woman is a prize, and turning torture into a game is exactly ethical. The rest of the game plays out as standard, but combined with the plot, these two minigames do give the game a slightly off feeling. Way of the Samurai 4 is a fairly simple looking game, with a small city to explore and one that is generally devoid of scenic detail. But that said, the most important part of the game, the sword duels, do look exciting, with a wide range of different sword fighting styles on display. By fighting with a specific style, the samurai earns points and upgrades the range of attack options they have. It's a very simple system, but it does let players develop their own approach to combat. Fighting is largely focused on defense, where you'll be blocking or dodging enemy attacks, and then quickly responding with a heavy strike of your own. Were it not for a story that had moments of real unpleasantness, the game would be easy to recommend for anyone who likes Assassin's Creed or the Yakuza games. It's not up to the same standard as the A-grade open world games, but it is compelling nonetheless.